Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Cooking. Today we're going to be watching something scary and warning. This has blood, but you can see gore, a little bit gore, and I don't know. And do not watch this at night, please. So let's begin with the first video.
Legend has it that there are websites on the deep dark web where you can pay to watch a live murder. These are called red rooms, named after a popular Japanese urban legend. Why is it called a red room? Let this story by username Violet Sumire explain. It was my rare day off, a day where I didn't have to worry about all the traveling and the chaos that usually accompanies my work, a day where I can just relax. Most people might spend it doing something active, going out camping, or to an event, or to play sports. I like to spend my break by being sedentary, cuddling up with a good book, looking up random things on the internet, and general lazing around are my favorite things. I was doing the second thing on my list when something strange happened. I have a pretty new laptop with the newest operating system, so when the pop-up came up on my screen, it was a bit surprising. Not just because I have pop-ups disabled, but because the format and the style of it was of the older operating system. I frowned, hoping that I didn't have a virus or something. My first thought when anything goes wrong with my computer. The message on the pop-up was written in Japanese, and it read, "Do you like it?" The text was in black and the background was a bright red. There was nothing else in the ad. I scrunched my face in confusion, but I figured that it was just one of those "congratulations, you win a new game console" type of things that messed up. The website that I was on wasn't the most legitimate looking. I shrugged it off and clicked on the big red X in the corner to close it out. I left the site as well for good measure and decided to get some tea before streaming some shows. I was only gone for 10 minutes, but when I came back into my room, the ad was there again. Now I was more worried about the possibility of a virus. I didn't have anything open on my computer, so it definitely wasn't just some pop-up. I closed out of it again and went to run a computer scan when it appeared again. Except this time, a voice followed it. "Do you like it?" It was a high-pitched child's voice. The voice seemed to echo as if someone was talking in a tunnel. It rang in my ears, so I reached to turn the volume off, but my computer was already muted. I felt goosebumps travel up my spine. I closed out of the pop-up again, but it simply came right back up, the voice louder. I immediately closed my laptop. "Nope, not today," I muttered out loud. I went to go out of my room, but my door wouldn't open. I frantically pulled on the knob. There was no lock on the door. There was a pinging noise behind me and I jumped. I looked at the computer on the table with bated breath. "Do you like the red?" the voice now asked. At this moment, I knew what this was. How could I not? It was a very popular urban legend in Japan. This was the Red Room. I ran to my window and threw open the curtains. I pushed at the frame, but it was no use. It wouldn't budge. I looked out and hoped that someone would be outside, as it was still in the middle of the day. But the street outside was sparse. Behind me, the child's voice was growing louder, the question now in a continuous loop. "Do you like the red? Do you like the red? Do you like the red?" I felt tears of frustration running down my face as it grew harder and harder to hear my own thoughts, but I needed to get out. My phone was in the kitchen, so I couldn't call for help. I looked for something I could use in my room. I grabbed my chair and began to use its legs to try to break the window. It took a few tries, but I could begin to see the cracks form in the glass. I also noticed that my room was growing darker, even though the sky was cloudless blue. I stood still, the chair no longer in my hands, but on the floor, forgotten. I should have ran to the window and broke off the rest of the glass to escape, but a foreboding feeling in the pit of my stomach prevented me from moving. That and the breath on the nape of my neck. "Do you like the red room?" Red. Of course I like the red room. I've always wanted a red room. This room is not red. I have to fix that. I searched around my desk. Box cutter. Perfect. Hands isn't enough. I need more. Have to make sure not to waste a single drop. The banging at the door woke me up. "Sumire?" I recognized that voice. It was my coworker, Sora. I groaned. What is he doing here on my day off? I slowly opened my eyes and almost passed out as dizziness suddenly hit me. There was a splintering of wood, an intake of breath. What happened in here? I barely caught his question as my vision went black for a second. "What are you doing here?" I managed to mumble. I looked up into his face and realized that I was sitting in the middle of my room. "You didn't come into work today, so I came to check up on you." "Right on time, too, it looks like." My head was starting to clear and I felt stinging pain from all over my body. "It's my day off." Sora gave me a look. "That was yesterday." I looked down in confusion, too tired to hold my head up, and saw my hands. They were covered in blood. My eyes traveled up my arm where cuts were engraved in almost every part of my skin. I had apparently taken off my clothes as well, and my legs were in the same state as my arms. I looked up at Sora fearfully. "Let's get you to the doctor." He gently wrapped a blanket from my bed around me and carried me. It was then that I noticed the state of my room. Red. There was blood all over the walls. My blood. I pulled on Sora's clothes. "My laptop. Check my laptop." Setting me down gently on my feet, he opened my laptop. There was a single window open, a single screen with black text framed in a bulky old-fashioned window. "Do you like the red room?" A very special thank you to Enya Waters, Samantha Brown, and Jasmine Murphy. Your support warms my cold dead heart. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarls and check out our other videos. And if you dare to follow.
Well, that was something scary. What is it? Do you like the red room? So next one we're gonna do the I don't know how to say that, but I'm just gonna tap it. So let's continue.
She was coming for me. What did she want? "Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary?" Google Earth is a pretty amazing website, but it can also lead to some strange discoveries. In our next chapter, I will be telling you a story that originates from creepypasta. A few years ago, I was in a car accident. Since then, I really don't leave the house that often. It's difficult, and the idea of seeing a car drive by makes me feel lightheaded. So my friend showed me Google Maps. I was fascinated by the fact that I could see all over the world, almost like being there. I became instantly hooked. I'd virtually walk down streets in China, Japan, Germany, England, so many places. The faces of the people were always blurred to protect their privacy, but it was still enjoyable to see them out there, enjoying their life, walking like it was no big deal. One day when I was looking around Tokyo, I spotted a woman wearing bright red sneakers, the same kind I was wearing. She must have good taste. I laughed. I zoomed in closer and noticed her black pants, her gray bag she carried over her black hooded jacket. She was walking in a relaxed manner, one hand trailing the wall beside her. I bet if I could have seen her face, she'd be smiling. I began to feel a little sad. I wish that I could be there, walking so carefree with her. That wouldn't happen though, until I died. I was stuck in this chair. I sighed and zoomed out of Tokyo. I turned off the computer and went to bed. I got up early and decided to look around Paris. I randomly zoomed to an area and saw a street lined with old brick buildings and a few small shops and an old tan brick church. I spun the view around a few more times and then saw something peculiar. Sitting on the bench at the bus stop were two people. One of them was a young woman with her feet stuck in front of her in a relaxed manner. She was wearing those same red sneakers. I was startled for a moment as I noticed the black pants and black hooded jacket. Her dark brown hair was tied loosely behind her head. A gray bag sat on the bench beside her. This is crazy, I thought. It can't possibly be the same woman. This is a different country, different continent even. How could it be her? This is stupid. It wasn't as if these were live photographs. They were taken ahead of time and then stored. It's not like she was in two places at once. She could just be a traveler. Besides, without seeing her face, it was impossible to tell it was the same person. Brown is a common hair color. Those red sneakers were something I purchased online. I'm sure a million other people did too. I shook my head and went to fix some lunch. When I got back online, I decided to look at Berlin. I picked a random street as usual. It looked pretty empty. There wasn't much to see at all, really. I was disappointed and moved my cursor to click away when something caught my eye. I turned the view, and there they were. Those damn red sneakers. I stared in shock. How could she be there too? Even if she was traveling, there's no way I would find her every time. Even finding her in Paris would have been one heck of a coincidence, but this was crazy. Was this some kind of joke? Had Google decided to play a prank on its users that used their product so much? I did a quick search, looking for a note about a woman that shows up like Waldo. There was nothing. I looked through articles on strange things you can see on Google Maps, but none of them mentioned the woman that travels the world with you. Had my self-imposed isolation driven me mad? Had I become so lonely that I created a hallucination for myself? I sent a text message to a friend asking him to look at the locations. I asked him if he saw the same woman. Then I waited, hands sweating, heart thumping in my chest. I jumped when my phone beeped. I see the lady you're talking about in Berlin. I didn't see her in Paris or Tokyo. Is this some kind of game or what? Are you okay? I didn't respond, instead returning to the locations in Tokyo and Paris. There she was. I shivered. Who was she? What was happening? I switched to Sydney, then London, Zurich, Hong Kong. She was everywhere I looked. In each picture, she came closer and closer to looking directly at me with her blurred out face. My heart felt like a terrified bird slamming around inside my chest. Who was she? Was she following me? Was I following her? I wish I could see the expression on her face, know what she saw when she looked back at me. I wanted to get out of the chair and run. Why is it that the only thing that made me feel free again was the thing that made me feel even more trapped? I typed in the name of my town and zoomed into a random street. It was a couple of miles from my house. The gates to the city park were shown in the clarity of daylight, despite it being night here. There she was. There she was. She was only a few miles from my house. She was near me, and she was watching me. She was coming for me. What did she want? I typed in the name of the apartment complex where I live. I could see the outside of the building. The parking lot was full of cars, and there were a few blurred out children in the playground. I searched everywhere for her. She wasn't in the parking lot or on the sidewalks, not hiding between the buildings or standing in the playground. I even scanned each of the cars, behind the bushes, and each of the blurred windows. She wasn't there. I curled tightly around myself and lay my head down on the desk. This place was safe. I didn't leave the apartment anyway. I would never use Google Maps again. I would never see her again. She could stay at the park for all I cared. I'm safe, I said to myself in a whisper. It felt good to hear it out loud. I'm safe. A chill ran down my spine. I had a camera hooked to my computer that showed who was at the front door. As I went to turn on the security feed, I realized the last of Google's images that I'd seen had only shown the outside of the building. Just the outside. I looked at the screen and saw a woman in black pants, in a black hooded jacket, and carrying a gray bag with a shoulder strap. Of course, there were those red sneakers. She looked directly at the camera, her face still a complete blur, as she reached her hand out in front of her. That's when I heard the front door slowly open. Want some Snarled merch? Head over to snarl.com where you can snag sweet pins and other items like a limited edition Something Scary poster. For more information, click the link in the description. And if you're planning on heading to VidCon, me and my fellow Snarled ladies will also be there on Thursday, June 22nd. Come say hi from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. And if you've got questions you're dying to ask, head over to our panel at 3:30. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarls and check out our other videos. And if you dare to follow me, my links are in the description below. Until next time, sweet dreams.
Okay, everyone. Oh, dang it. Great. That was that. Cancel. Well, hope you like this video. So, if you want to go check out this thing, just go to, her link to her channel will be in the description below. So, bye.